I'm Christine. Welcome to Book Talk. Today we're discussing The Fault in Our Stars by John Green. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I couldn't read this book for a long time because I'm a hypochondriac and I'm weird and I faint. There's more of an explanation about that in my Confessions of a Booktuber video, or I have a fainter video as well on my polandbananasBOOKS channel. Anyway, I tried to read this book when it came out, and I didn't know what it was about at all. I just knew it was by John Green, and I was super excited, and got it on my iPad, and I remember reading it in my college dorm and feeling sick, because I was reading from Hazel's point of view, and I just, fell into that, and if you know what a hypochondriac does, they imagine themselves having it, and then they, make themselves sick thinking that they have it. It's crazy. It's crazy, I know, okay, but I do that. So the trailer was released for The Fault in Our Stars a few weeks ago, and I watched the trailer, and I've never done this where I read the book after I see the trailer for a movie at all. I've never read a book after I saw the movie of it, ever, because I don't like not picturing my own people. I like to be able to throw myself into it without knowing anything about it, but knowing what the characters look like and being able to put them off of myself actually really helped me. And I thinking about it before I read the book, I was like, maybe I can do this because I could separate myself, because I could picture Shailene. And I did it. I read the book, and I know it sounds so stupid to say that I'm really proud of myself for reading the book, but I'm really proud of myself for getting through the book. I had to read it pretty slowly, and slowly I mean I read it in 2 days. It was a lot shorter than I was expecting it to be, but I had to stop myself every once in a while, and I had to remind myself, okay, picture Shailene. That's Shailene. That's Augustus. And, this is, separate myself completely. And because I had such a wall up, it was easier for me to hold back tears-wise. I wanted to cry in chapter 2, because I've already been spoiled when I started it about who dies, who survives, who gets sick, all that stuff. So I'm reading it, and I'm just, falling in love with these characters, and it dawns on me what happens, and it was so sad. It was really sad, and I forgot how much I love John Green's dialogue. I've gotten comments in the past about how I haven't read The Fault in Our Stars, and it's an insult to John Green, and blah, blah. I love John Green, okay? And I've read Paper Towns, and I've read An Abundance of Catherines. I have yet to read Looking for Alaska or Will Grayson. But I will eventually read them. I love the way he writes and his style and the dialogue and how his characters are all so distinctly quirky. I had so much fun reading this. It was sad, but at the same time, the dialogue was funny and I was laughing. I have the collector's edition of The Fault in Our Stars. I see this one all the time at Barnes & Noble, and I'm like, if I ever buy it, I want to get that beautiful silver one. And so I bought it, and I got the beautiful silver one. If you're interested in what the collector's edition entails, underneath it has John Green's signature kind of ingrained into the cover. They actually recently released the collector's edition for Looking for Alaska, and it's beautiful. I saw it at Barnes & Noble, and I was like, oh man, if I hadn't just bought a signed edition of Looking for Alaska. Now I almost have all of John Green's books. I have An Abundance of Catherines, but I have it on my iPad. Now I feel like I need to get it in real life, because I was like, it would be right here, but I don't have it. So I'm going to talk about The Fault in Our Stars now. If you haven't read the book, I feel like there's maybe 1 or 2 people who have not read this book. I guess you should leave. If you want to stay, feel free. But if you think you're going to read the book, I don't think you should stay. You should go. Okay? Bye, non-spoilery people. Bye. Okay, so from what I've heard about this, I was not expecting to really enjoy Hazel, which I did, and really enjoy Gus, which I did, of course. Oh my god! I didn't even catch this. The quote over here is from Peter Van Houten. That jerk face. I love the way this story went. I love this whole literal heart of Jesus thing. There's cancer in the literal heart of Jesus. I mean, that can't be good. And I love how they're able to joke about things and have all this fantastic dialogue. And these discussions about cancer, seeing it from all these different points of view, and how he's like, well, it's me, and I'm fighting myself, and it's a civil war, and it's It was really emotional and it was really different. There's a few lines about Pop between Hazel and her mom. It's like, if you want me to be a teenager, don't send me to support group. Buy me fake ID so I can go to clubs, drink vodka, and take pot. And her mom goes, you don't take pot, for starters. And I just found that so funny because I've said that before and someone has said the same thing to me. I love the first scene with Augustus and the cigarettes and the metaphor. Oh, Augustus and his metaphors and the smoking was really interesting, and that was a really cool character quirk there. Hazel's friend, Kaitlyn. I was laughing so much when I was reading her intro, and she comes in and she's like, oh, darling, it's been so long since we've spoken. No one thinks it's weird. Everyone has accepted that Kaitlyn is a middle-aged British socialite in a teenage body. When they first got in the car, and Augustus is a terrible driver, and after a few minutes of like, he was like, I failed my driver's license test 3 times. And Hazel goes, you don't say. You don't say. It was like there'd be some sadness and then you'd laugh. Gus has died. She goes over to visit Isaac. They start playing the video game. They're trying to make it say comedic things. This whole page was hysterical. Follow the left branch. You follow the left branch. The passage narrows. Crawl. You crawl for 100 yards. The passage narrows. Snake crawl. You snake crawl for 30 yards. A trickle of water runs down your body. See, I had distanced myself so much from the book, and I knew that Augustus was going to go. So when I felt like crying in the middle-ish, I held myself back. It wasn't until really this section about the last good day, before the last good day, when they were having this fantastic little banter session. He goes, my hotness could be blinding. She goes, it actually did blind our friend Isaac, and it was just such a wonderful conversation. And then she goes, anyway, that was the last good day I had with Gus until the last good day. So this Peter Van Houten situation, I loved her relationship with that book. I love how she described it, how much she loved it, how she yearned for the answers. I love how she shared it with Augustus, and that's what they first really started talking about and discussing. I just love their book trade-off. I love how Augustus cares so much. It's always a risk giving someone your favorite book and having them read it. You don't want them to turn around and tell you that they didn't like it. They are allowed to hate it, but it's upsetting. It's upsetting to hear because, you know, it was yours. You didn't have to give it to them, and you shared it with them, and they kind of just, like, choked on it and left it to die. Their trip to Amsterdam, I mean, that dinner they had together, I mean, it couldn't be more adorable. The Peter Van Houten day, I love how she's worried about what to wear and if she should dress like Anna, and then ultimately she does dress like Anna. He's a complete and utter asshole. I love how Hazel deals with it, too. She doesn't just accept that he's not going to tell her anything. I want to know what happened. What is the tulip guy a con man or not? We still don't know. I'm assuming he's not. I'm going to go with what Augustus said. The relationship with her parents, she's such a wonderful relationship with her mom and her dad, and this is just, I don't know what else to say. I'm having trouble forming, like, real thoughts about this. I love when she got the email back from Van Houten that had set up a date and time for them to meet when she came to Amsterdam. And she was like, Mom! Like, just freaking out, as we all would if our favorite author set up a meeting to discuss the sequel to the book that they never wrote. He tells her that he didn't spend his wish yet. Oh my god, it was so wonderful. Augustus, really, you don't have to do this. Sure I do. I found my wish. God, you're the best. I bet you say that to all the boys who finance your international travel. I love this part where Hazel kind of tells him that she doesn't want to be romantic with him because she doesn't want to be a grenade, she doesn't want to be a burden on his life and take him out with her when she goes down and stuff. She goes, anyway, sorry. And he responds, okay. And she writes back, okay. And he goes, oh my god, stop flirting with me! There's this whole idea about Augustus wanting to leave his mark on the world in this book, and I could completely understand Hazel's point of view here. Like, why am I not good enough? We remember you, and why is that not good enough? But obviously, we can all understand Augustus, because everyone kind of thinks that. They want to, what do you want to do with your life? I want to make a difference in the world. And that's leaving your mark. You want to do something that people will remember you by. So, it was tough. It was tough hearing these conversations, and it was tough to choose a side. I'm so happy I read the book. I think I would have enjoyed the movie immensely either way, but I'm glad that I can compare now. I don't know if I should re-react to the trailer. Should I watch it again? Fault in Our Stars official trailer. I was really afraid that I was gonna get to the end and it was like gonna stop mid-sentence like Van Houten's book. But I was like, no, John wouldn't do that to us. But then I was like, what if he would though? Because I'm kind of glad we don't see how long, we don't see Hazel die too. I was afraid we were going to see something bad happen to Hazel because there's a lot of book left after Augustus died. And I know it could have been her just like dealing with the death, but I was really afraid she was gonna get sick and it was gonna end like Anna's ends. This movie is going to be so sad. It's one thing reading it, but it's another thing seeing it like play out before your eyes. Do I think The Fault in Our Stars is overhyped? No, I think it's a great moving book that a lot of people are excited about. And I hate the phrase overhyped kind of because, yeah, there's a lot of people saying that they love the book, so it gives you these high expectations. But, like, it's not the book's fault that you had those high expectations, and a lot of time it gets taken out on the book. Like, it didn't go around being like, I'm awesome, read me. It was you and everyone else, and it's because you loved the book, and you shouldn't go into a book being like, oh, I hope this lives up to the hype. You should just go into it excited because a lot of other people enjoyed it. And of course, that's tough, and that's why you want to jump into books, like, as soon as they come out, so no one can tell you what they think. That's my favorite way to do it. So, I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm rambling. Like I said, I'm having trouble with forming the intellectual thoughts. I think we're done here. I think that's all I really have to say right now. Ooh,